Welcome, I'm James Wilson. I'm the co-founder and managing director of Hugo Reeves Recruitment. Today we're talking with one of our employees, Charlie Curtis. We're going to talk about Charlie's experience and transition into the industry, some preparation and tips for interview, the market insights on flexible working and what people are demanding, and a general conversation about the industry in general. So thanks for speaking with me, Charlie.
No problem.
Obviously you've transitioned into Hugo Reeves from a different industry. Tell me a little bit about the move over and how have you found it?
So I found the move really, really good. It's been really smooth. I mean, I come from a customer-facing background. I worked in the wedding industry, and a few years ago I kind of dabbled in the recruitment sector, but I didn't really like the work environment. I've known Tom professionally and personally for a few years, and when he approached me about the Hugo Reeves vision and what he saw the company going into, I just knew that it would be a work environment that I've dreamt of working in. So I just knew it was an opportunity that I could miss.
Fantastic. And you've, for people who don't know, you've came in and had a dabble of a variety of different sectors, professions to try and, identify your interests and strengths. Just tell me about some of the people that you've been speaking to, and not names or sort of giving anything away, personally, of course, but the type of positions that they are, the industries that they're potentially in.
So I think what I really loved when I first started Hugo Reeves is I wasn't given a particular sector to go and work into. I was kind of given free range to kind of have a little go at looking into different sectors. So I've been speaking to people from the rural sector, from commercial, from infrastructure, right to residential. And I think speaking to a variety of people has helped me kind of focusing on what I've almost aligned with more so. So I think now I'm leaning more towards residential. So I've been speaking to more property managers, block managers, administrators, town planners, and I think that's because I've had the free range. It's helped me focusing on what I've found has aligned with me more so and who I can relate to more.
Fantastic. And, there's some technical roles that you've said, or technical positions there, block management, there's a lot of legislation surrounding it. Town planners has generally always been a sought after skill set. Surveyors, there's a shortage in general. There's a lot of information to digest there. As with everything, we want to be credible in who we speak to. We want to be honest and transparent and approachable. How have you learnt, the key words and what to look for, and how have you effectively learnt about the roles to a point where you can confidently pick up the phone to a surveyor and talk about a role that you're working on? How have you, just talk me through how you managed to learn it, basically?
I think it's just being transparent with them from the beginning. I'm not the expert in that field, and I'll be honest with them about that. So I'll just ask them questions like what their day-to-day role responsibilities look like, what they get up to on different projects, and just asking them the right questions. And then by speaking to more people, the more you learn, I've found. So it's just become like a natural understanding now. And I feel like I've built relationships with certain candidates, and like even through the process of placing candidates, that I've learned so much more from them just by having conversations.
Fantastic. And going slightly off topic, there's and I say this and bring this up because you've witnessed this firsthand now, the demand for flexible and hybrid working. Do people want to work from home? Do employers want people back in the office? In your experience, how have you, what's the market demanding? Do people want to work from home? Do people want to go back in the office? What's your thoughts?
I think there's definitely a desire for the hybrid roles, definitely more so, post-pandemic. I think that a lot of people have got the idea of, flexible working and not having to make the commute into the city centre or anything like that if they've got the opportunity to work from home. I do definitely think that there is a definite need for that out there. From an employer's perspective, I think that they are offering the flexibility, that they have got flexible roles out there. It's just there is a definite preference to be present in the office, and I can understand that as well from their perspective. There might be certain candidates that need more support, so they've got to be in the office really to be able to kind of lean on their co-workers. And I think being at home, you haven't necessarily got that direct support or, you know, the people around you to ask the questions. So I think I can see it from both sides. I mean, from my personal perspective, I love the flexible working that I've been provided with by Hugo Reeves. You know, I'm able to get deliveries if I need to, or I can just take my little boy, you know, to an appointment that he's got or anything like that without having to book time off or book a day off. And I think in turn that naturally makes me want to work harder for you because of the lifestyle that you've provided for me. So I can see why there's a want for it, but I can also see the employer's perspective.
Absolutely. Same applies with myself. You know, we you know, advocate flexible working. There is times and needs to be in the office to get that, you know, team environment, the culture created, to share ideas. But actually, if people are more productive at home, you know, why would you force that out of them? That, you know, that's what we think. You know, for people who are watching, you know, they won't know this, but just, you know, internally, it's no secret. So you've had a fantastic month this month. You've placed two, you know, senior professionals into two different roles. I think that one of them was a valuation surveyor. One of them was a property manager. One was with a brand new client of ours. How did you manage that process? So, you know, how did you deal with the candidate, and how did you identify what type of company that they may be suited for? And, you know, how did you sort of manage the process, you know, in terms of understanding that they would be a good fit and vice versa?
I think the key thing is to listen to the candidate rather than going in tunnel visioned and kind of having your job role that you want to fill in the forefront of your mind, actually having a conversation and listening to what they want, because their personality or their career aspirations might not necessarily align with the role that you're recruiting for. So I think with both of the roles that I've recruited for, that's all I've done. I've just had clear communication from the onset. So if ever there has been like anything that I've needed to get to them, it's just clear communication. And then I think, sorry, I'm pausing here. I'm like, I've lost my train of thought.
That's fine. But just moving on that point. We've had really good feedback from from two separate clients. The feedback was how prepared your candidates were for the interview. And they further expanded on that and said that as a result of their preparation and how much sort of research and enthusiasm they showed towards the role and to the interviewers, that was a direct point as to how they were, the decision was made to offer the position. How did you prepare your candidates for that? I mean, you know, it's a simple point overlooked. And not many people do it, and you've done it to the point where it's been recognised by, you know, key clients of ours. How did you do it? What do you do to prepare candidates?
I think personally, I already know the candidate's good for the role because I've got their CV, and that's why I've approached them. You know, I've almost like single-handedly selected that person because I know that they've got transferable skills for the role that I'm recruiting for. I think it's just almost helping them deliver in an interview. Some people don't know how to use their transferable skills and how that would apply to the role that they're going for. And again, I think with the communication, like communicating with them after the interview about how they felt it went, that's helped me with the future interviews as well, of like the sort of questions that are asked, like what the whole interview you know, vibe was, so that I was able to help any potential candidates that I was putting forward with that sort of information.
Absolutely.